Hi guys, welcome to another episode of, our second episode of Passionate Living with Phenie and Poh. I'm Phenie and I'm here with my lovely co-host.
Hi everyone. It's nice and early here in Perth, but I'm raring to go.
Yes, and I'm hailing from Maryland, United States, Waldorf, Maryland. Okay, so today's topic is, how do you find your purpose through passionate living? How do you find your purpose through passionate living? So now the question is, what is our purpose in life? Everyone has a purpose, right? We exist. That enough and alone is our purpose, to exist. Now the question is, what is the quality of existence? So our purpose in life through our passions. Each and every one of us has passions. Wouldn't you agree with that, Poh? We all have passions?
I would say so. My question is, has everyone accessed their passion, or is it kind of buried deep? With some people it is buried deep, very deep, but yes, I would agree everyone has something that they love and are passionate about. To give you a very difficult answer.
Yes, but I like those answers because, we bounce off of that. Okay, so you said that if you're deep. Okay, so I know I'm a deep person. I know you're a deep person. So now the quality of existence and the deepness of life. Okay, now purpose. My purpose, I think everybody's purpose is through their passion. It's just that a lot of us, we just don't know what our passions are consciously. A lot of us know it when we're little, we're small, we're children, but then as we get older, it is drummed out of us. I know for me personally, when I listen to the stories of when my father told me the stories, he said when I was little, I guess it's around 5 years old, I used to sing. So I used to sing, and he had this old tape cassette, and he would record me singing. Now, what inspired me to do that? He said I would stand up and I'd sing in different languages, and I'd say, okay, Daddy, I'm singing Spanish. And I go, mind you, I didn't know any Spanish at the time, okay? And then I would say, okay, Daddy, I'm singing in German. I would do things like that. And he said that I would sit there and go through different languages and pretend that I was singing and I was in front of an audience. Now, what possessed me to do that? So the question now is, everyone comes here with some inclination towards something that they like, and it's present when they are young without consciously knowing it. They're just exuding it and they're doing it. Do you have any stories like that, any experiences to share of some of your passions that you engaged in without consciously knowing about it?
Well, absolutely. I think, my first point is that I think when you're younger, you are uninhibited. You're not there as an adult busily thinking what everyone else will think if you like a certain thing. So I think the best cue about what your purpose is can definitely be your childhood, because at that time you don't even really give a shite about anything. All you care about is just having a good time. And when I was younger, I just liked what you liked, And for me, I had a similar story of singing, on top of a letterbox in Mandarin. And although, I didn't become to be a very talented singer like you, but that was part of passionate living, just belting out a song in front of the whole entire neighborhood. But as I got a bit older, I love birds. And then I figured out, I like birds, but I prefer birds out in the wild, so I won't keep having them as pets. But when I was 12, for whatever reason, don't even ask me why or how, I just developed a liking for fashion. And it didn't really go any further than that, because that's when the world of adulthood kind of crept in, because that's when adults start saying, you know, is this really practical? And then I was starting to say to myself, do I even know? I don't know how to design. I don't know how to draw. So see you later. Passion, dream, purpose, whatever it is. But a few years later, going into high school, I knew I liked helping people. So then I went and studied psychology. And so it's funny, when you're younger, you get cues as to what your purpose could be, but then through life experience, you start to fine tune to say, yeah, I like this aspect of it. I don't like that aspect of it. This works for me. And it took me doing psychology at university. It took me working in learning and development for 10 years to realize the office world wasn't for me, and that I got to be out there on my own. I also, after, you know, my late 20s, I went and studied fashion. And then through that long-winded experience, I discovered, yes, I got to work for myself. I don't want to be starting from the bottom in fashion. Not that there's anything wrong with that. It's just that from going to a 10-year corporate career to doing, you know, admin work and doing the kind of stuff I don't really love, well, that kind of sucks. And yeah, I'm going on a long spiel, so just bear with me. I eventually figured out that I love travel. I love discovering treasures, especially fashion treasures, art treasures. So I wanted to find a way to incorporate that into my life purpose. And yeah, that's what I'm doing now with blogging. It's my start of that journey. So yes, that's my answer in a long-winded way.
Okay. All right. For me, I started out singing in the house, around the house. Then after that, you can have so many passions. It's just not only one thing. You can have so many different things that you're drawn to that makes you feel or come alive. For me, it was running. I jumped to running. First, it was singing, and then later on, it was running. And then after that, I learned to play the piano. I don't know, I just naturally gravitated to those things. I'd go away, and one thing happened. I came back one summer and I was playing the piano. So the neighbor showed me how to play the piano, and I gravitated towards it. And I just knew when I was spending some time with my grandmother in the Caribbean, and the neighbors, the childhood friends I played with, she had a piano. I naturally gravitated towards it. She taught me how to play the piano. When I came back, that was it. When my mother saw that I could play the piano, she was like, okay, we buying a piano. So then before the year was out, we had a piano. So now I'm singing and I'm playing the piano, and it was fun back then because you just naturally do these things. And it's like you said earlier, you don't really like consciously think about it. You're just pulled to it through joy. As I got older, I became interested in fashion, but fashion in the sense that I would see things that I'd like, and I would have to locate someone to sew it for me. So I would bring all these pictures. Here is a sleeve. Here is a bodice. Here is a skirt. I want a suit. Can you put it together for me? Then after that, during the whole thing though, I had an attachment to personal development, so I read a lot, and I became a personal development junkie. And if you notice, I'm here talking. I can talk a mile a minute. I can keep talking, as you already know, Poh. And in that, I realized I liked talking and I liked helping people based on the hunches and the feelings and the things that I would get or receive. And I don't know, I just had this feeling like I had some type of insight or hunch, and I'd like to share that with people. My whole point in this is that our passions indicate our purpose in the sense of the things that we like to do, that make us come alive, that makes life feel worth living. A lot of us, we don't engage in it on a regular basis. We just live just to live and to just survive. But then we become walking zombies and we're not really enjoying ourselves. And then we think, okay, well, are we here just to live and to then to just die? It's a very good question. Are we here just to live and to just survive and just happen to have friends and family that witness us living as the walking dead, then we die? Is that the purpose of life? I don't think so. I don't think that's the purpose of life. I don't feel that's the purpose of life. But it depends on where you are, where you're living in the world, and exactly what you're experiencing. Now, I have a question for you. Now, does our purpose, even though you are living, you're finding your purpose through a passionate life, a passionate living, does that mean just because you have a purpose, you should be earning a living from your purpose? What are your thoughts on
that? Not necessarily. Very, very succinct. Who says you have to earn a living out of your passion? Nobody said that. Well, for me personally, and I can only talk from me, it's a bonus, because isn't the ultimate, well, I think so, the ultimate aim is how wonderful to be able to get out of bed every day doing the stuff that you love, and you can actually get paid for it as well. I mean, for me, that is the most thrilling and ideal scenario here, because the reality is, let's just be real here, we all need to make some form of living, because we still got to pay bills, we still got to eat. It doesn't have to be something you get paid for, but think about it this way. How would you prefer to spend the majority of your time? Would you prefer to spend the majority of your time at work and then have your passion be a side thing after work and on the weekend? Or would you prefer it to be your cake for most of the time, and you get money out of it too to help you survive? For me, yeah, it's a preference, but I would prefer to be engaging in what I love all the time, and that takes care of the bills too. How about you, Phenie?
No, I'm seriously, I'm with you. I'm with you on that. I believe it is possible. I strongly believe it is possible to do that. I have this feeling that your passion, you were given your passions, the things that you're drawn to, you were given them in order to take care of yourself. I just think that we have conditioned ourselves to believe that the two cannot exist together. So we've lived a large part of our life. A lot of the society and structure is based on who gives a flying two figs about passion. If you follow this trajectory, if you follow this path, it will lead you to putting food on the table, getting a roof over your head, and putting clothes on your back. And since we are strongly conditioned that way, a lot of us do not engage in meaningful work. We don't earn a living through our passions. Case in point, I'm gonna use an example. There's this blogger that I follow. I love her, love her, love her. I saw when she started up from the very beginning. What was her passion? Her passion was to sew. Okay, so you have a passion to sew, you have a passion to sing, you have a passion to draw. Normally people will tell you you can't make a living like that. You can't, and you've just said it. Imagine getting up and loving and infusing so many hours of the time spent that you have in earning a living, but you're doing it through something that's passionate, that keeps you alive, keeps you feeling zestful, eager for life. Imagine that. And a lot of times we don't do that. We just, okay, I'm dragging my feet. Oh, I can't stand my job. Oh, anyway, this blogger, she liked to sew. And a lot of people around her, they weren't sewing. A lot of people, oh, that's old school. Nobody sews. And plus, when you sew these clothes, they look mammy made. And mammy made looks like you made it at home. basically. It looked like if you ain't had no money and you just basically sewed these clothes and everybody can tell that you made them. That was basically what Mammy Made means. So now, you know, most of her friends were not sewing clothes and she wanted it to be, you know, hip, or she wanted it to be something that was, what's the word I'm looking for? Just commonplace again, because in the past a lot of people sewed their own clothes and that was a lost art. So mind you, her aunt taught her how to sew. She sewed because it made her feel good. After feeling good so much, you're like, wait a minute, I can inspire other people to feel good by teaching them to learn how to sew. So those people who gravitate towards me and, you know, learn from some of the things I'm offering them, they too will feel the joy in sewing. So she started sewing, then she started putting up little tutorials and stuff on YouTube. Thank God for YouTube. So she put up these tutorials on YouTube, very simple, very simple designs and things that people can do. The next thing you know, she started adding more things besides the basics of sewing. Now I was following her. Next thing you know, she was doing reviews. Mind you, all of this stuff came out of her passion just to sew. You could always scale out your passion, but I believe that a lot of people are not trained or taught how to scale out their passion. But the funny thing is you just have to follow your passion and the opportunities arrive. I really do believe that. And then next thing you know, your purpose, you feel that you're here to enjoy and experience life on your terms through your passion. So how do you find your purpose? Her purpose is to be here. Her purpose is to sew and feel joy and express and feel that joy, to resonate in that joy. She resonated in it so much that she was just brimming with it so much. She felt compelled to share it. She started sharing it. Next thing you know, she started giving reviews on patterns. She started saying, okay, I did this pattern. She sewed it, she would don it on, she'd walk around, she'd take pictures, she'd give her advice. Next thing you know, people are showing up and asking her advice on how to sew certain things. Next thing you know, just long story short, she was like, well, wait a minute. I can show how to make a dress form out of duct tape, and I can put it on YouTube or some private server or something. I don't even know, but I know that I was one of those people that bought one of her videos. It was $7 to learn how to make a dress form out of duct tape. My point is passion. It was her passion that led her there. Next thing you know, yes, this is my long spiel too. Next thing you know, it was, hey, I made these patterns. I'm showing you how to alter a basic pattern or make a pattern off of the measurements of your body. Simple dresses. Now she has this huge, wonderful blog. She sells patterns that she's designed. She has a clothing company based off that passion to sew. So she monetized her passion. I believe anybody can do that. In a sense, anybody can do that, whether it's writing, whether it's sewing, whether it's fixing up cars. We're in an age, we're very fortunate. We're in an age now where we can offer advice or offer our story or offer what we've been through or going through, and people want to know more and they will pay you for it. So how did I get on that subject, Poh, about monetizing passion? So many people believe I want a passion-filled life. You can only have a passion-filled life if you're willing to invest in your passions. I strongly believe that we were given our passions to enjoy life and for our passions to take care of us. The thing about it is, a lot of us, we don't know how that journey will unfold, and we don't trust that journey. So we basically scratch it out and follow the true tried path. It's true and it's tried. It's just very uncomfortable. What are your thoughts on that?
From somebody who's been there in the tried and true, is it even true? No, it's just tried. This tried path has been done. How many people, you just do a survey of the people that are just doing the typical stuff. How many of them actually look fulfilled and happy and with zest to get up and go to work every day? I don't really know many, if any, to be honest with you. A lot of them talk about, when is Friday coming? When is the weekend coming? When is the next holiday? When's the next public holiday? I mean, is it any way to live to be counting down to the next day off? I mean, isn't that a clue in itself that you're living a life that's not congruent to who you are? So I'm not saying, because, you know, you and I have definitely gone down this path of dreams and passionate living. I'm not saying that it's necessarily going to be filled with sunshine and lollipops all the time. In fact, you know, you're definitely going to confront a lot of challenges about yourself and what you believe about yourself. But I think it's better to be able to look yourself in the mirror and know that you've given this life your absolute all, than to look in the mirror and think, not only look haggard, I'm thinking about myself. I'm thinking about myself when I was back in that world. I remember looking in the mirror and thinking how haggard I looked. And, you know, I've got the Asian genes, and as an Asian, you look much younger than what you actually are. And to look haggard in that environment, I think that's enough of a telltale sign that the soul is being crushed. So, yes, no, thank you. And I would love to hear how you came about finding your purpose, and what would you say is your purpose, Phenie?
My purpose is to live a very fruitful and enjoyable life. My purpose is to express myself. I know I sound vague. I go through my little vague spiel, but to be honest, I have always had the desire to be free and to express myself as I see fit in the moment authentically. What does that mean again? I'm just being vague again. I just feel that my purpose is to be me. I think that's I think that's everybody's purpose, to just be you. I know a lot of us are indoctrinated, we're conditioned, we have cultural grooming, and a lot of it stifles who we are. And I'm not talking about the stuff where you go around and you're hurting people, you're maiming people, you're destroying lives. I'm talking about the freedom to be yourself. If you like to sing, you sing. If you like to sew, you sew. If you like to write, you write. If you like to be very expressive in life, you be very expressive in life. To me, my purpose is to be me. Whether that is a person who sings, whether I make money off of it or not, a person who spreads joy, whether I monetize that or not, a person who just is free to be me. I don't care what anybody else says. And as I usually would tell you, but I don't care what you say, even though you don't say anything. I don't care what you say. We are here to have the grandest experience that we can create. They say we are creators, right? We're co-creators with God, universe, providence, however you picture it, or whatever title you want to name this consciousness. We are here to experience being in a physical body, consciousness, through how we want to show up. It gets kind of confusing, because when you have to worry about your physicality as far as your survival and just maintaining your body through clothing, food, housing, once that's done, then you can start going up the steps. So I remember Maslow's hierarchy of needs. I can't go through all of it, remember it offhand, but I do remember that the first rung on that, I'm gonna call it a ladder, even though it was a triangle, is basic survival, your physical survival. Once that is out, then you can start thinking as you move up of nourishing the soul. My purpose, I've also always had a purpose of wanting to help people. It's just strange. I was talking, I know we talk often, and I told you that I really never had the desire to just work just to gather or get stuff. I kind of get high when somebody says to me, you know what, I considered this, or I did this, or you inspired me because I saw you do this and I didn't think it was possible. Even when I talk to my friends and family members in passing and they say to me, I don't know, you're the rod in my back because I saw you do something in your life and it inspired me to do something. And here's the funny part. I was not intentionally doing that to inspire them. I just wanted to express me. I can go on subjects. I could even take like my hair. I decided that I wanted to wear my hair natural. I didn't want to wear any more chemical straighteners. I didn't want to wear any more extensions or weaves or anything. And I went through a journey to wear my hair in its natural texture. Yes, it's in braids, locks, and its natural texture. And I would walk the streets and I'd see the look little girls would give me or adults would give me, and they're like, oh, that's possible. I didn't set out to do that. I just set out to express the real me. So I believe that's my purpose. My purpose is to express the real me, and in turn, if I inspire, but it is my intention to inspire, if I inspire others, then I've done my job. But I'm not going to lie. I want to do that full time and monetize that because everybody has to work. Everybody has to work. And I desire to work and earn money doing something fulfilling. Yes. So what do you feel is your purpose?
My purpose, I'll keep it nice and short, is to exactly what you said. We lead parallel lives. My purpose is to just do me, be comfortable in my own skin, and to just do me. Live a passionate, authentic, and real life based on what feels good to me. Not because of what society says, not what this person says and that person says about how life should be and how things should be done. I don't give a rat's. We've been down that path a lot, and it's merely what I feel is right for me and to follow that path no matter what. And yes, since I was young, helping others is definitely a big part of that. And I believe that if you're living your purpose and you're living your passions, people can't help but be inspired because they can feel the energy of realness, right? You can't fake being something you're not. And if you're fake, I think people can smell it from a mile away. It's about being who you are, no apologies, period. So yes, just doing me, just doing the authentic thing, just talking about my passions. That's me.
Mm-hmm. Living your passions, talking about your passions, exemplifying your passions. And the interesting thing about that is when you are expressing yourself and acknowledging your passions, I believe that is your purpose. It ends up being your purpose. Your purpose is to live a fulfilling life. And I believe we each came here inclined to certain things. And since it is, I'm going to be wrapping this up. And I've come to realize that when you get, all you have to do is get on the path of your first passion. And it takes you to the next step. And then you'll realize, wait a minute, I like this, but I might like that even better. And then you have another passion, or you're drawn to another passion, or you're drawn to multiple passions. And in the end, like you said, it's the energy. I believe the energy you give off, you don't have any choice but to attract more incidences, more situations, more circumstances where you get to exude and relish and live and savor your passion. So that's purpose. Purpose is being your most authentic you, and your passions are the key to take you there, get you there. All right, guys, that's it. It is 30 minutes. That's it. This is the end of episode 2 of Passionate Living with Phenie and Poh. You can find us respectively at Phenie Charles. Well, not at Phenie Charles, but Phenie Charles at snatchingmydreamsback.com. And you can find
me at www.becomingpolin.com.
All right, guys. See you all in the next episode of Passionate Living with Phenie and Poh. Bye for now.
Bye.